Watch till the end and count how many stories end with the word subscribe. Comment your answer, and we'll be choosing lots of people to receive special gifts. It could be you, so don't miss it. Daddy, my hand hurts! I was outside washing my new car when my daughter came out wanting to help, but suddenly I heard a scratching noise. I saw that she had scratched my car. I ran over, shut the door hard, and shouted, "What are you doing?" But by doing that, I accidentally slammed the door on her little fingers and cut them off. Later at the hospital, my little girl had her hand wrapped in bandages. She looked at me and asked, "Daddy, when will my fingers grow back?" I felt so bad and cried. When we got home, I started kicking my car again and again. Then I walked to the side where she had scratched it and I saw the words, "I love you, Daddy. If you think I am guilty, subscribe. Why are you late?" One student was always late to my class. I got angry with him and often hit his hand with a ruler as punishment. One day, I told him to bring his parents to talk to me, but they never came. The next morning, while I was riding my bike to school, I saw two boys in a small street behind the school. I thought they were skipping class, so I stopped. "What are you two doing?" I yelled. Then I noticed it was the same boy who was always late. "Oh, it's you! That's it! You are done!" He quickly said sorry and begged, "No, please! This is my brother! He is blind and I have to take him to another school. That's why I am always late." I was shocked. "Where is your mother?" I asked. "We don't have a mother. We live alone and our neighbor takes care of us." My heart sank, and I felt so bad for what I had done. I gave him a hug and said, "Sorry. No one should judge others without knowing their full story. And if you agree, subscribe for good luck."
I hated my little brother when we were young. He always got all the care and attention. Every day he made a picture for me saying, "Sister, look, this is for you." But I always yelled at him, "That picture is ugly." I did that because I was jealous. Everyone cared about him, and my parents always blamed me, not him. Still, he kept drawing for me every day. He would draw us hugging, laughing, being happy, but I still didn't like him. One day, he didn't come to give me his drawing. There were no smiles, no hugs. My little brother passed away from cancer. Now I was sitting alone in his room and found all the drawings he tried to give me. On each one, he had written, "I love you, sister." My heart broke. From that day, I would give anything just to hug him again and tell him how much he meant to me. But it was too late. Holding his pictures, I saw how much he truly loved me. And if you love your siblings, subscribe!
The teacher is stealing students. During the war, our teacher started acting in a strange way. He would take a few of us for a walk, but when they came back, some students were always gone. I asked him, "Where did they go?" But he only said, "They are safe now." I didn't really get what he meant. A week later, the school was almost empty. Only the teacher, me, and one other student were left. All the others never came back. Then we heard loud gunshots outside. Enemy soldiers stood in front of the school and yelled, "Give us your students, we need them for the work camp." The teacher told us to hide, then walked out to meet them. He said, "I don't have any." The soldiers got mad and said, "Then we only need you." They dragged him behind the school. Moments later, we heard one more gunshot. That's when we finally understood. Our teacher had been hiding all of us. He knew the soldiers would come, so he made sure the students were safe first. In the end, he gave his life to protect us. After the war, people built a big statue to honor him. They called him a guardian angel. Drop a heart if the teacher deserves to. Stop, you are going to hit me! One night I saw a car driving really fast past me. I got in my car and started following it. The car finally stopped, and when I walked up to the driver's window, I was surprised to see a very old man inside. "You were speeding, what were you thinking?" I asked. He said, "It's an emergency." I asked if he had been drinking, but he said, "I'm not drunk." The next day at the police station, I sat across from the old man and asked him some questions. He looked tired and weak. "Sir, you know you could go to jail for driving at that speed. Why would you do that?" The old man began to cry and said, "I was taking my boy to the doctor. He has cancer. He wasn't feeling well." I was shocked. "How old are you, sir?" He said, "I'm 100 years old," with tears in his eyes. "My son has no one else. I've been taking care of him until now. He's 70. I take him to the hospital every day. Please, if I go to jail, could you take care of him for me?" My heart felt heavy. "I'm sorry, sir. You will not go to jail. You are proof that no matter what, family always comes first. If you agree, comment and share this with a friend. My son is hurting a homeless lady." As I stopped at a small cafe to grab some coffee, I saw my son across the street. He was standing and looking at a homeless woman asking people for change. My son walked right up to her. At first I thought he was going to help, but instead he grabbed the few coins she had and tossed them into the trash. The homeless woman began to cry. "I wanted to buy food with that money. Why did you do you that," she said. Then my son took out a $100 bill and gave it to her. "Here, I hope this is enough to buy you food for a couple of days." For a moment, I thought, wow, my son is kind. But then he turned to his buddy who was recording everything. "Did you get it?" His friend nodded. Suddenly, my son slapped the woman, snatched the money back, and tossed the $100 bill into the trash. He laughed and ran off with his friend. The woman stared into the trash with tears falling from her face. Later that day, my son came to me. "Dad, can I use your card? I want to get food for me and my friend." I pulled out my card and tossed it in the trash. "Go get it out," I said. He was stunned, and I shouted, "When you do evil, it will always come back to you. If you agree, comment and share this with a friend." My parents died, and I was left with my little sister. I looked after my little sister, always making sure she was okay. She meant everything to me. One day, while she was walking home, a group of bad men took her in their car and drove away. I kept waiting, but after some hours, I knew something was wrong. I ran through the streets searching for her, but didn't find her. I was all alone, crying, feeling like I had no life inside me. I kept saying, "God, I'm begging you, please help me." Then I saw someone far away. It was my mom. She was crying. I ran to her, but when I got close, she started to fly. I followed her and came to a burning house. Then I heard my sister yelling, "Help me!" She was stuck inside. I ran in and saw her tied to a chair. I had a knife and quickly cut the rope. We started running, but the building was falling down and the way out was blocked. I couldn't see anything. I thought, that's it. We are going to die. But then I saw two angels, and it was my mom and dad. They began moving the wood, blocking the door, and we got out. My sister asked me, "How did you find me?" I looked up and said, "God sent me our two angels that will always protect us. And if you agree, subscribe." I trusted in God, but the other firefighters laughed at me because of that. One night, we got called about a house on fire. We reached the place and saw that a family was still inside. I grabbed my axe and prayed again. "God won't help you. You'll die if you go in alone. Just wait," the other firefighters yelled. But I ran to the house, broke the door with my axe, and started getting the family out one by one. When I went back in to check if anyone else was left, part of the roof collapsed on me. "He's probably gone. We can't see him," I heard people yelling. When I opened my eyes, I was shocked. Everything around me had fallen, except for the small space where I had prayed. That spot was untouched. "How did you live? The roof fell on you!" They couldn't believe I was alive without any injuries. I looked up and shouted, "God was with me. He kept me safe because I prayed to him. If you trust God, drop a heart and subscribe." "Not again, God!" My alarm didn't go off and I missed my morning bus. I stood there in the street, furious. "Why, God?" I yelled. "Why do you keep doing this to me? I pray all the time. I'm done. I'm so tired. I hate this." I sat on a bench, completely frustrated. It was going to be a long, hard day, and now I was going to be late. I didn't even want to pray. I didn't want to talk to God anymore. After a while, another bus came. I got on, totally silent. I just stared out the window. Then suddenly, the driver said, "There's been a big accident up ahead. A bus flipped over." I looked, and my heart dropped. It was my bus, the one I always take. Tears filled my eyes. I looked up and whispered, "Thank you, God. Thank you for saving me." If you love God, type amen and subscribe. God destroyed my... Great, you made it till this part, because this isn't entertainment, this is a message. And the ones who stay, they're the ones God truly loves. Life. I lost my job. I had no money to buy food. My wife left me, and I was about to have no place to stay. To make things worse, my car broke down on the road. I got out and yelled, "What did I do to deserve this? God, why do you hate me? Why did you forget about me?" I sat down and started crying while cars drove by. Then one car stopped. I looked up. A stranger came out holding a warm coffee and a bag of food. He gave them to me and said, "I don't know what you're going through, but something told me you needed this." I took the coffee, took a sip, and thanked him. "Why? Why would you help me?" He hugged me and said, "I used to be like this too. I know the pain, but God will never leave you or forget you. If you love God, drop a heart and subscribe." A man was talking to God. "God, I want to be rich. I want a pretty wife. I want everyone to like me." The next day, he walked to the park. On the way, a man who baked bread stopped him and asked, "Do you want to work with me?" The man laughed and said, "No way! I won't make any money with you." He kept walking and sat on a bench in the park. A woman came and sat beside him. She asked, "How are you?" He said, "That's not your problem." Then he stood up and walked home. That night, before going to bed, he thought, "Why is God not helping me?" He went to sleep and started dreaming. He saw God standing in front of him. He asked, "Why are you not helping me?" God said, "Look up!" A bright light showed. and in the sky he saw a video of his life. God said, "When you asked for money, I sent you a baker, who later made a bakery worth $1 billion. The woman on the bench was the pretty wife you wanted. I don't make magic, I give chances. You didn't take yours." They did something awful to my grandpa. When I was born, my parents were both heavy drinkers and didn't want me, but my grandpa chose to take care of me. He raised me and did everything for me. Every night, he made me a cup of tea and sat beside me, laughing and telling stories. I loved my grandpa, and he loved me. As I got older, my grandpa ran out of money and couldn't pay rent anymore, so he moved into my home. I wasn't happy because I wanted to live alone. One day, after a bad day at work, I came home angry. My grandpa brought me tea, but his hands were shaking, and he spilled it on me by accident. I got mad and yelled, "I've had enough! Go live on your own!" My grandpa looked heartbroken and slowly walked out of the house. Hours went by and I started to feel terrible. I thought, what have I done? He cared for me my whole life. I ran out to search for him. After looking everywhere, I saw him lying near a trash bin, hurt. A stranger told me that some bad people had attacked him. I was shocked and quickly took him to the hospital. When he woke up, I cried and hugged him tight, shouting, "I'm so sorry, Grandpa. You never left me, so I'll never leave you." If you love your grandparents, subscribe!
My foolish husband is always drunk. When my sons were little, their dad drank too much. Every day he caused problems in the house, and I was too afraid to stop him. I worried about how it would affect my boys. As they got older, they moved out. One day I went to see my older son. His house was full of bottles, and he had become just like his dad. I asked him, "How did you end up like this?" He shouted, "What did you expect? Dad was an alcoholic." Of course I turned out like him. I left and went to my younger son's house. His place was neat and peaceful. He had never drunk alcohol and was doing great. I asked him the same thing. "How did you end up like this?" He smiled and said loudly, "What did you expect? Dad was an alcoholic." We should learn from other people's mistakes and build a life we can be proud of. If you agree, share this with a friend.
Why is my dog barking? I was walking home with my dog when suddenly he started barking. I was puzzled, and then he began running away from me. I chased him, and we reached our house. It was on fire. I panicked when I heard my wife screaming for help. She and our daughter were trapped inside. Without thinking, we rushed into the burning house. I was hurting, but I didn't stop. I finally found my wife holding our daughter tight. They were coughing but alive. I helped them outside to safety. But then I heard my dog crying. He was still inside. A policeman grabbed my arm and shouted, "It's too dangerous. You can't go in there." I looked at the flames, heartbroken. I couldn't let him stop me. I didn't care. I wouldn't abandon my best friend. I ran in and searched everywhere but couldn't find him. Suddenly, I heard him barking. He was hiding under the bed. I scooped him up, but he was unconscious. I rushed him to the vet. After a while, the doctor said he would live. I hugged him tight and shouted, "We are friends and friends never leave each other. If you agree, share this with a friend." I made a big mistake. After my parents passed away, my grandpa looked after me. He had to work every day until late at night to make sure I stayed alive. After many years, I got married. My grandpa got old and sick, and he didn't have enough money to pay for his home, so I let him stay with us. He was very old, so his hands shook when he ate, and he would drop food on the ground. My wife started to not like him. One day, we had people visit us, and my grandpa dropped his plate on the floor. My wife got very upset and told me to take Grandpa outside. As we walked in the snow, I told him to wait and said I would come back soon. I went back home, leaving him alone in the cold. I ate dinner with our visitors. After they left, I went to bed. Suddenly, I remembered Grandpa was still outside. I ran out, but I couldn't see because the storm was strong. I searched everywhere. Then lightning hit a tree. I got scared. I saw Grandpa lying in the snow near the tree, crying. I ran to him, carried him home, gave him warm blankets, and hugged him. I said, "I'm really sorry, Grandpa. You never left me, so I won't leave you. And if you love your grandparents, subscribe. Those prisoners are pieces of shit." I was in jail, and the other prisoners didn't like me because I believed in God. Every day they laughed at me and said things like, "Why don't you ask your God to get you out?" One day, a guard came to my cell and shouted, "You think your God is strong? Let's see if he can save you now." He dragged me out, tied my hands and feet with chains, and threw me into a dark room full of poisonous snakes and rats. Nobody ever came out of that room alive. When the door shut behind me, the prisoners laughed and yelled, "Your God can help you now." I was really scared and felt like I couldn't even breathe. I started praying, "God, please help me. I believe in you." Suddenly, the room became silent. An angel appeared in front of me, clapped his hands, and all the snakes and rats stopped moving. I prayed all night, thanking God. In the morning, the guard opened the door, crying. He dropped to his knees and asked me to forgive him. I was shocked. Then he screamed, "All the prisoners who laughed at you were found dead this morning. This is why you should never make fun of God. If you agree, share this with a friend." This kid was a rich brat. When I was a child, my brother and I went to school together. We were very close. There was a rich boy who picked on everyone. He used to say things like, "My dad will throw you out if you don't do what I say." One day, he grabbed my brother and yelled, "Give me your money." My brother said no, and the boy shouted, "Who do you think you are?" The rich kid got angry and pushed him into the street. I saw my brother get hit by a truck. At the hospital, he died. In court, the rich boy's parents gave money to the judge. They said, "It was an accident." My mom and I cried while they walked away smiling at us. Years went by and I became a judge. One day, the rich boy, now a man, was in court again. He had taken someone's life. When he saw me, he got scared. This time, he couldn't run. I gave him a life sentence in jail. As the guards took him away, I shouted, "Evil always comes back. If you agree, share this with a friend." Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Lesson. I'm Adam, and I'll see you in the next story.